What is your presentation about?
Well, it's called Systemic Functional Grammar. Why haven't most business teachers heard about it?
Alright, so systemic functional grammar. And so why haven't they heard about it?
Well, we've just been so absorbed with pedagogic grammar that is presented to us in the course books, looking at language in terms of present continuous, present perfect, subject, verb, object.
What's the difference between that pedagogical grammar and systemic functional grammar?
Okay, I'm not an expert on the subject, but I think that a lot of pedagogic grammars are very influenced by our study of Latin back in the old days.
Right.
And that influence has continued to stay with us, although we've approached this so-called communicative era of teaching.
Right.
And a lot of it doesn't really work. Just think about it. Subject, verb, object.
Right.
Verbs are part of speech, so shouldn't it be noun, verb, noun? How could we mix a function of subject with verb? So if the noun plays the function of a subject, what function does verb play? So should it be subject, object?
So you feel like it's still, our teaching is still, or the description of grammar is still really based in this grammar translation era?
Perhaps not. I wouldn't say grammar translation, that being a methodology or approach in a way.
Right.
But yes, it's sort of an archaic view of the English language, very much based on Latin labels that has been given to us, and labels that I think are not very useful. And in previous conferences, I've heard a lot of people talk about why pedagogic grammar doesn't necessarily work, or there are lots of loopholes, there are lots of things that are not quite fulfilling, that confuses students, but no one sort of suggested a solution.
Okay, so you're suggesting a solution, another way to think about it, yeah, or another way to think about it. And you've just mentioned noun, verb, noun. What other sort of solutions do you have?
Well, this is not my thing, so I wouldn't dare take credit for it.
All right.
Halliday in 1975 wrote the book An Introduction to Systemic Functional Grammar.
Okay.
Quite ironically, it was not an introduction, it was describing the whole of the English language in about 900 pages.
M.A. Halliday is also a huge, huge fan of, of the communicative approach and the lexical approach. So,
he was a big fan of looking at language acquisition and how children, his own child in fact, learn languages, and he figured that learning languages was about learning how to mean. We don't say things for the sake of saying them, we say them because they achieve certain functions. So the fact that we say, I cancelled the meeting, as opposed to I called the meeting off, then there's a reason why we make those choices. We don't just make them randomly, everything has a function. So he went into the whole map of the English language and looked at it in terms of the functions, and gave everything new labels. Now this is the part that really turns people off, the labels, because there are lots and lots of new labels.
See, I like that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah.
You have to come tomorrow.
I'm going to be busy talking to people like you and about their presentations, but all right. So the labels turn people off. Well, sorry about this, but what turns you on about the labels? Why is this something you've sunk your teeth into?
I just like jargon. No. I just found it a really good solution to all the questions I've had previously about the grammar that I teach. Is there such a thing as a state verb? Do we never use the present progressive with the state verb? Then what does McDonald's say? I'm loving it. Why? Yeah. And Halliday seems to have all the answers for all those questions that we've been asking ourselves. And so what I'm trying to do in my talk is to grab the bits that captured me as a practitioner, as a teacher, and take parts of that theoretical grammar into my teaching. And I tried it out in my classes and realized that it really cleared the air for a lot of students.
I'm going to have to reread Halliday, and I'm going to want to see tidbits of, or at least talk to you later about your presentation, because it sounds really interesting. I'm a teaching geek and a grammar geek as well.
Oh, good.
Try to kind of calm that down sometimes.
Try and get through that book.
Yeah, all right.
It's quite mad.
All right.
But,
and the book again?
An Introduction to Systemic Functional Grammar.
Systemic Functional Grammar.
By Michael
M.A.K. Halliday.
Yeah.
All right. I will check that out maybe in a couple of weeks after I've calmed down from basic. So, okay, Chia, it's been really nice talking to you, and we'll chat tomorrow as well, off camera.
Okay.
And all I can say now is thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.